years. The CIA was breaking the law the entire time. Then, in 2001, in June, the CIA sponsors the first of its pandemic simulations. It simulates a biological attack on Washington, D.C. by Saddam Hussein. This is in June 2001. That simulation got international press, and a lot of the CIA people, like Judith Miller from the New York Times, was promoting it, going around doing all the talk shows. It triggered 2 Senate hearings, one by Joe Biden's committee, and that hearing was in September 2001. What happened in September 2001? The 9/11. So that hearing was going on during 9/11. As soon as 9/11 happened, the neocons, which were working on all this stuff with the CIA, pulled out the Patriot Act, a 350-page statute from a shelf where it had been waiting for a while, and in 1 week said, we want to pass this in a week. There's only one member of Congress who read it, which was Dennis Kucinich, and he went crazy and said, you have no idea this is the end of American democracy if you do this. It allows the CIA to spy on Americans. One of the things the Patriot Act did is it did not get rid of the Geneva Convention or the Bioweapons Treaty, but it said no federal official can be prosecuted for violating those 2 statutes. So it reopened the bioweapons arms race globally. And a week after, when the Patriot Act was being debated, and it was being held up by 2 senators, there was an anthrax attack on the US Capitol. It was blamed on Saddam Hussein, and the neocons all said, see, we were right in the pandemic simulation, Saddam Hussein attacked us. And we used that as a justification to go to war against Saddam Hussein. And within 2 days, we passed the Patriot Act. Who got the anthrax? 2 Senate offices, Tom Daschle and Patrick Leahy, the 2 senators who were blocking the Patriot Act.
Okay. Did you guys know this? So they're having this major hearing on bioweapons. Suddenly 9/11 happens, unexpected. Nobody knows it's going to happen. They say, wait a minute. Thank goodness we have the Patriot Act, this 350-page bill that nobody's going to read except for one guy. And we're going to pass it 1 week after 9/11 while everybody's in a panic. While literally molten steel is still somehow miraculously leaking out of the buildings in New York, and 2 senators hold it up. Then what happens? Suddenly those 2 senators are mailed anthrax to threaten them into passing this. And then what happens? They pass it, and America is fundamentally changed forever. Absolutely forever. Okay, let's keep going.
The FBI did a 1-year investigation. They said this anthrax was unique. It was Ames anthrax, and there's only one place in the world it could have come from, Fort Detrick, the CIA lab. So we went to war, we passed the Patriot Act, and immediately started giving $2 billion a year to bioweapons development. The Pentagon didn't want to do it because it was nervous about the legality, because it was a death penalty to violate the Geneva Convention. Oh, you would have been committing a war crime, even if somebody told you it was okay. It wasn't. And so they funneled it through DTRA and DARPA. They funneled all of that money to NIH, to NIAID, which became the primary spear tip of bioweapons development. So Tony Fauci became the bioweapons czar in 2001. His budget went up by $2.2 billion. He was personally given a 68% raise from the military. That's why he was the highest paid individual in the federal government.
So Dr. Fauci makes more than the President of the United States of America. He's secretly hired and brought in by the CIA and also the US military, and the Pentagon is terrified of what he might be doing with bioweapons.